Hi everyone, this is Emily Kaler, the Early Literacy Coach for Tuscola ISD, with an update about next year's literacy initiative. I am doing this video recording in the hopes that I don't have to take away from your prep time, and it's a quick, easy, simple way to get the information to you. Feel free to contact me via email or phone at any time if you have any questions, but this is just a way of getting the information out to everybody in one go. So basically next year, we're going to add kindergarten to the literacy network. You know that this year we have the first grade literacy network, which has involved all 9 local districts, and now we would like to include kindergarten in that group. What that's going to look like for you all is a separate group. You won't be together with the first grade teachers, but you will be also receiving professional learning related to the essential practices. There are going to be some changes this year in the structure of the workshops, so I'm giving you information about those. The first grade teachers are aware, but there will be more information given to them as well. But basically this year we've done 2 full day workshops with the first grade teachers, and they were split into 2 groups. So half of the district coming one day and half of the other district coming the other day. Next year what we'll do is the county will be split up into 3 groups, and they will be regional groups. The 3 groups would be Akron, Fairgrove, Macomb, and Unionville-Sebewaing. Second group would be Cassidy, Kingston, and Mayville, and the third group would be Millington, Reese, and Vassar. Those 3 regional groups will come together for 4 half days each. At least one of those meetings will be held at your local school. So one week will be, for example, at Millington. One week will be at Reese. So it saves you a little bit on travel time. The other point about those is the first grade will also be meeting on the same day, but the opposite half of the day. So perhaps kindergarten comes in the morning and first grade comes in the afternoon. The next workshop you'll switch. You won't always give up the morning. That being said, that is to expand the amount of professional learning that we can do. That is also to give you the opportunity to meet in collaborative teams. The purpose of these workshops obviously is to develop capacity around the essentials, but we also want to come together in collaborative groups and work together toward goals. That was a lot of the feedback that came back from first grade teachers as well as administrators on what they envisioned next year's professional learning to be. This year's workshops will operate on the principle of flipped classrooms. I've talked a lot with the first grade teachers, the administrators, thought a lot about what's already happening, and also used some models that are happening at other schools or at other districts, And flipped classrooms basically means that before coming to the workshop, the 4 workshops, you will be responsible for completing some professional learning outside of that. I've shared with you quite a few times that the Early Literacy Task Force is creating modules or have created modules that go along with each essential practice, and each participant will be responsible for completing a module before coming. That being said, I realize that this is extra, and the aim is not to have extra, but allow you to do some really targeted work together and not have me lecture on and on about an essential when you could very easily go through that module yourself and have it at a self-directed pace. To alleviate some of the burden, there's a few things that are being done. Number 1, there are sketches provided for each module already included. Number 2, you are getting the modules that will be focused on next year. You are getting them with this video. So you'll have those prior to the first workshop, which is in September. So you have now May, June, July, August, about 5 months prior to any of the workshops. Also, your administrators are well aware of what the concept of our workshops will be, so they are actively thinking about how to potentially embed this into staff meetings or staff professional learning. I can't say for certain that each school has a definitive plan yet, but do know that they are thinking about that. And if you have further questions about the expectations or your responsibilities, then contact your principal and see what their plan is. I will share now with you the 4 essentials that we will be focused on. There's actually 6, but a couple of them will be embedded into what we're doing. and there will be no expectation of completing those modules. Essential 1 will be something that we embed through all 4 modules. It will not be something that you need to complete beforehand. Essential 1 is all about engagement and motivation. So including choice, collaboration, and really having authenticity in what you're doing with your students. But the 4 main modules that we'll be working on, their 4 main essentials we'll be working through, will be Essential 3, which is small group instruction, Essential 4, activities that build phonological awareness, Essential 5, explicit phonics instruction, and then Essential 7, which is vocabulary instruction. And within Essential 7, we'll also be embedding Essential 2, which is read alouds with a very targeted purpose. So you're completing the modules at home prior to or with your staff prior to each workshop. And then that half day together, we'll be working on very targeted strategic goals with your team. We will also take time to debrief on what you learned from each essential and kind of those points that are really important to hone in on. But then the time together will be spent working on goals together. Along with that, there will be targeted coaching. It will look different next year, but again, you'll have some more information about what that will look like. But know that you'll be supported as you sift through each essential and work to embed some more of those instructional practices into your instruction, or adjust your practices, or even confirm quite a lot of your practices with what's research-based practices. I'm trying to see what other information I wanted to give you. I gave you information about the locations. You'll get a link to the flyer. I've created a flyer that looks like this. That basically gives you a bit of a purpose, or the purpose for each, the element of flipped classroom and what that will look like. And then you'll have, let me figure this out here. You'll have the 4 essential practices that we'll be focused on. Sorry about that beep. Moving on, you'll have the 4 practices that we'll focus on. The one you'll receive will be in color, and the color will indicate where the location will be. You also have the tentative dates for each workshop. So Akron, Fairgrove, Macomb, and Unionville-Sebewaing will be on September 13th. And these dates right now are tentative, but I'll send you the flyer and I will update it as necessary. Only tentative because our calendar hasn't been set in stone yet. There will also be an optional lunch between each half day. So between the morning and the afternoon half day, there will be a bagged lunch that is optional if you want that. That will be an option that you'll be able to have. But again, more information to come. We will also be using Google Classroom. Google Classroom will be a forum for you to have all those resources in one spot. And I will kind of be going through how to access those on the first workshop. And then you'll be able to communicate with each other and have hopefully a really good place to do some good professional learning. The last piece of this message would be that these workshops will hopefully be done in conjunction with Keisha Shadley, who is the early literacy consultant the early childhood consultant for Tuscola ISD. Hopefully we can kind of combine efforts. I know that she is excited to work with the kindergarten team. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, please feel free to contact me via the email when I send you this link, or my phone number is always on my email tagline. But I'm excited to hopefully get some really good professional learning with the kindergarten team. I know that from what I've heard, you all are excited too. So I look forward to seeing you all soon. I will send you a link to this flyer, but I will also send you, I will bring them around to schools as well to put in your boxes in the next couple weeks or so. Again, please feel free to contact me with any questions, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. I will be reaching out in another email about setting up some time to come in your classrooms at the beginning of next year. Again, I realize what month it is, so please don't be too frazzled or worried about it. But last year, at the beginning of the First Grade Literacy Network, or the creation of it, I came in and did a read aloud with every first grade class in the county. So I'm looking forward to doing the same with the kindergarten classes. So again, any questions, feel free to contact me, and thank you for listening.